on set. Places, everybody. And action.
It's time once again for the Hooked on Movies podcast. Today we will be looking at the 1984 release, The Karate Kid, celebrating its 8th anniversary. With me are Ted.
Get him a body bag.
And Ken.
Mercy is for the weak, here, in the streets, in competition. A man confronts you, he is your enemy. An enemy deserves no mercy.
Hey everyone, I'm Eric. Sweep the leg. Sweep the leg, Johnny. That's right.
You ever heard the song? Sweep the leg.
No.
You might be familiar with that one, Ted. Are you not familiar with that song?
You've played it for me a couple
It's a
of times.
cool song. You got to check the video out. I think it's called, is it No More Kings or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
It's a cool video because the video has all the old the stars, and this was done, I think, in the 90s. Sweep the leg, Johnny.
Let's start off with you, Ken. What's new and exciting with you this week?
Watched an episode here of English Teacher, an episode there of Murderers Only in the Building, another episode of Chaos, that show with Jeff Goldblum as they star as the gods in the modern age. It was a kind of disturbing because the second episode you had Zeus who took a baby and basically broke its neck, killed it. It was very disturbing. It made me consider not watching it anymore.
It's a little disturbing.
Sounds accurate for Zeus.
So I went out and got some digital movies this week because there was a really good deal on digital movies. And I'm going to share you what I bought because it is fun. I got a digital movie, which, of course, I already had these movies, but I had to get them on digital.
Why did you have to get them on digital?
It was just a good price for it.
But you already have the physical movies?
Yeah. I like to have things backed up on digital. Yeah. So
in
it
case
was a movie
the disc
called...
stops working?
Yeah. Just stops working. Yep, exactly. Because,
you're mobile
4K...
somewhere, you want to watch it in the airport or
exactly
on a mountaintop.
A movie called Mindhunters is one that I bought, and it might be one that we might do next year, as it will be celebrating its 20th anniversary. LL Cool J and Kristen Slater and Val Kilmer.
Oh, interesting.
Cool. It's actually it's a very interesting one.
I'm thinking of the original, the movie that Brian Cox starred as Hannibal Lecter in 1986.
Okay.
Not that one. This one is 2005. And then I bought a bundle of John Wayne movies. True Grit, Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, The Shootist, The Sons of Katie Elder, and Big Jake.
Wow.
It was a great purchase.
Sure it was.
Ted, how was your week, by the way?
I don't know if I could top fucking sitting there beating off watching John Wayne, but
my goodness.
That's an experience, I'll tell you that.
Wow.
Sure it is.
Hey, Pilgrim.
Yeah, exactly. Now just imagine that with, okay.
Is that a gun in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Yeah, exactly, right? My week was pretty good. I didn't watch a whole lot of movies. I finished watching the Ken Burns documentary about Vietnam. Anything Ken Burns is amazing. We finished watching and getting caught up with Yellowstone. We watched the first episode of the final half of the 5th season. Excited for the rest of that. And I rewatched and then started the new season of the Apple Plus TV show, Shrinking, with Harrison Ford and Jason Segel. It is hilarious. It's one of the best things on Apple Plus TV. Not a whole lot of movies, but some TV. And I do want to start that show Chaos that Ken was talking about.
And I also picked up a Singing in the Rain pop figure of Gene Kelly.
A Funko Pop figure?
A Funko, yep.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
It's with him hanging on the lamppost.
Oh, I thought it was Malcolm McDowell.
Singing in the rain. Not singing in the rain. I got it.
I was thinking more Clockwork Orange.
That would be a very interesting Funko Pop, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Eric, I know Ted would really want to see that. Yeah. Eric, how was your week? What did you do this week?
Wow, hard to compete with you guys. Pretty simple here. Continue watching Sopranos. Still in season 3, and just got done with season 1 of Yellowstone. So I'm waiting for season 2 to come in from the library because I'm too cheap to buy it.
You're doing it that way, okay?
Oh yeah. Watched 9 seasons of season 1. So we're
It is on Peacock. Yeah,
don't have Peacock. So no, library's got all 5 seasons. So I'm just waiting for it to come in. We'll continue that and watched. I know I talked about this with Ken. The worst movie ever made.
We're gonna review this sucker.
The Last Dragon.
I thought
from 1985.
You were going to choose one of Ken's John Wayne movies.
Oh no. I know you've seen it, Ken. I know you've seen it, Ted. And apparently we're going to add it to our podcast so everyone else can. It's on Netflix right now. And the only reason why I watched this is because a friend of work brought it up. And I'm like, never seen it. And I watched a preview for it. And I went, this thing looks horrible. And they said, oh, it is. Did not disappoint. Negative 0 hooks.
83% audience score.
I know, you keep telling me that. Whatever. It's a
cult
horrible movie.
It's a cult classic.
You got to be in a cult to like
Kung
it.
Fu movies?
I'm not crazy about Kung Fu movies, but this thing has the worst acting I've ever seen in my life. It is
enough.
Yeah, the glow. It's like a giant SNL skit that went wrong.
Bruce
is what the movie is. Is that the same Barry Gordy? I don't know if it is.
Gordy?
Is it the same one?
I guess I've never seen that movie.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay, I thought Barry Gordy spelled his name Barry, and this is Berry.
Pretty sure.
I wouldn't attach my name to this piece of shit. Well, I've given this movie way too much airtime.
Publicity.
It's horrible. Yeah, there you go. Hey, everyone, if you're out there, why don't you watch it and comment on our Facebook page? Because I'd love to hear your comments on this file.
Make sure you comment on The Last Dragon and not
The Last Dragon. And if you're out there, you can obviously start the conversation with us on Facebook. We're on Hooked on _movies on X. We're actually part of the Dorkany Network, too, so give them a shot. Their web pages actually have bad. You can actually find us on it. So some interesting tidbits on that as well. And Ken does a great job, as always, on our Facebook page with some interesting stories and stuff.
Or Percy does Death Watch on there, too.
Death Watch 2024, of course.
Sorry, Tony Todd.
That's right. Yeah. Sorry, Tony Todd.
Yeah, we just did The Crow, so Tony Todd was in The Crow.
That was your idea, Ted, so you killed him.
Yeah, probably.
So when was the first time you gentlemen saw this movie? We know Ken probably on cable.
On the movies, actually. I saw
it in the theater?
You saw it in the theater?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, this was at a time where my dad was taking us to actually dropping us off. It was a PG movie.
I'm almost positive I saw this movie at my grandparents' house on Cinemax.
It was a cable staple.
I'm almost positive, but I also remember in Quincy, where I grew up, in the summertime, the one movie theater, because we had 2. The one movie theater would
X-rated films,
country and western.
Yeah, they would do a summer program for kids. You'd buy like a pass, and my grandma always bought her and I passes, and I know I saw it in the movie theater during one of those times, probably like 87. I'm sure.
I actually saw part 2 in Oklahoma on vacation with my family. You would think
dropped you off at the theater again, right?
Again, yeah.
Or did you fall asleep in the theater?
How about you, Eric?
Video sometime in the late 80s. Maybe mid 80s. I don't know. It was on videotape. I did not see it in the theater, but I do remember it in the theater. So,
it was the most rented video of 1985.
Not surprised. That's probably when I saw it.
Because you no longer in 85, you no longer had to put down a deposit for rent the movie.
No, but if you lost it, you had to pay like $90 for the lost tape.
Yeah, which is stupid.
What was it? I remember we rented a copy of, I want to say it was Kevin Costner's No Way Out. It was like $87. 87. Yeah, and we lost it. And we had to pay like $90 to Video Villa, mind you. Had to pay them like $90 for the retail
piece of
price
shit?
of that. Yeah. I remember my father was not happy about that one. We never did find the tape. I don't know where it went.
Did you pay
So
the
I guess-
owners? Because I knew the
It was-
owners.
Well, whoever it was, the Lyle location, they're like,
Yeah.
as part of your agreement, if you lose the videotape, and this is before you could go to the store and just say, well, screw it, I'll just buy you a new one and
Right.
here you go, flop it out.
Eric-
No, these
Eric just rewinded the scene in the car back and forth, and it just broke. They just didn't have heart.
be kind, rewind. So, yeah.
You know
Yeah,
which
like-
part I'm talking about, right?
I know exactly what part you're talking about. Oh, yeah.
It was an okay movie. Marginal, as you would say. at
I
best.
believe we did not rent movies from Video Villa anymore after that.
Yeah.
So what makes you gentlemen qualified to review this movie? Ken?
I think I've waxed on and waxed off many times. So
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what
your
qualifies
pubes.
me for this podcast.
Well played.
pubes.
Well played. How about you, Ted?
On the weekends, I sweep up legs.
Well, like Daniel, I also do not like Cobra Kai.
Oh, I also had a huge crush on Elizabeth Shue, so there's
who
that
didn't?
too.
Yeah,
Not-
join the
especially at
club.
that time frame. Jeez.
Join the
I mean,
club. Come on.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
I
for her.
thought maybe you would more be into the mom in the movie. So
Nice.
he was 14 years older than Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. That's a little.
Well, if you think about it, he's playing a 16, 17-year-old boy. So that actually works out a little bit better.
It's close. He doesn't even look 16 or 17.
His age is amazing.
All right, Ted, why don't you tell us about the particulars of The Karate Kid?
Particulars. Do.
Do.
So, The Karate Kid was directed by John G. Avildsen, a screenplay by Robert Mark Kamen. It has a running time of 127 minutes. It was released June 22nd, 1984. It had a budget of $8 million. It also had a box office gross of $130.8 million. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a critic score of a certified fresh 90%, probably before all of those critics became jaded. It also has an audience score of 83%. It has an IMDb rating of 7.3. The Karate Kid stars Ralph Macchio as Daniel LaRusso, Pat Morita as Mr. Miyagi, William Zabka as Johnny Lawrence, Elizabeth Shue as Allie Mills, Martin Kove as John Kreese, Randy Heller as Lucille LaRusso, Chad McQueen, Steve McQueen's son, as Dutch, Ron Thomas as Bobby Brown, not Whitney Houston's Bobby Brown.
Not New Edition Bobby Brown.
Yeah. No. Tony Odell as Jimmy, and Rob Garrison as Tommy. And those are the particulars for The Karate Kid.
Sweet. And we all know, like you said earlier, this movie was the biggest release on videotape in '85, so it just rolled in money and had some
Yeah, it was
very
huge.
successful sequel.
It was huge. It was hard to find in the. It was
Third
hard to
one, but the second one was quite popular.
Yeah, it was hard to find even years later when you went to rent it, at least at the local ones here in Quincy. It was hard. You still had to time it right because it was always checked. It was always checked
I
out.
remember those days of video where you actually had the time
I
those
know,
new
right?
releases. You'd go there and it's like 30 empty box covers. You're like,
Will you go check the outside box, the drop box? I
or
used to
behind the
hate those.
counter, the returns. I miss those days.
When I worked at the video store, I fucking hated that shit.
Dropbox.
Will you go look in the Dropbox? I don't know. Here's the key. You go look in the
You go
Dropbox.
look in the Dropbox.
Blockbuster Video, of course, had a whole section of just that movie.
Just empty boxes.
Yeah,
Just
we
empty
did.
boxes.
Yes.
We were late to the Blockbuster party, but here in Quincy. But
I love the Blockbuster wall of empty boxes. You're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. You had to make sure you got there early on Tuesday if you wanted to get
Like when the damn store or know someone at the store could hold it for you.
Exactly.
Hold one for
Yeah.
me.
See, that's when I worked at the video store. Nobody ever made friends with the video clerks because nobody ever came up and made friends with me. But back in the day when we were little, you had to make friends with the clerks because then they would know you and you could call up and be like, hey, it's me. Can you put this aside? And be like, yeah, that'd be cool. You had to know how to play the game back in the
It's an
day.
era gone by.
Exactly.
Gone by.
It's gone the way of the rotary telephone.
My only pet peeve for that, and I'll call it on that, is when I had to go to Blockbuster pay $5 for a movie. I'm like, I don't want it for 5 days. And it's $5. You go to a different video store, it's like $1 for the old movies. The old movies.
Yes, I
for
know what you're talking
$5.
about.
I don't
I know
want
what
it for
you're
5 days.
I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about, and yeah, it used to piss me off too.
Yeah.
We remember when Blockbuster decided to go with no late return fee.
Oh my goodness!
Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Keep it
That
as
was
long as
always
you
it.
want. We
that
don't
was-
care.
But they wouldn't go back and erase the late fees that were already on your account. That's what pissed me off. Shut up.
What was
And then
their
they got-
competitor?
Family Video.
No, that was local. They had a national one.
I know what you're
Hollywood
talking
Video?
about. Hollywood Video.
Hollywood Video?
Hollywood.
I worked for Hollywood Video too for a brief second.
Brief second.
Cut back with those movies.
I'm in. I'm out.
They had a video game section
Oh yeah.
just separate from all the movies. It was like almost
Yeah.
like a separate store.
Mhm.
With kinda
I
cool.
remember that.
And Family Video had the kids' movies for free. Take them.
Yep.
We don't
Yeah,
care.
And
Yeah,
they had
I remember that.
They had the beaded room too.
Of course
Family
they
They
did.
had a very beaded room.
Actually,
Yes.
they didn't have beads. They had swinging doors.
Yeah,
So
they
they
had
had
the
the swing doors.
Saloon
Yeah, they had
doors.
swinging. They had saloon doors.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know.
There was another one. West Coast Video was another
I
one
don't-
that I
didn't
That
know
was
that
out
one.
west. I don't remember them out here.
They were out here. They had one in Bolingbrook in a strip mall over by back in the day when we had a Dominic's over in that area. In fact, it was the first time
Huh.
I ever saw Paul McCartney's rock show because they actually had an actual Paul McCartney, cardboard figure.
Seriously?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
For rock show?
That's cool.
Wow.
It was pretty cool.
Rock on.
Did you
Well,
ask
what
them
are
if
the
you could buy
tidbits,
it?
Ken?
Oh, we got a bunch of tidbits here. So the idea for the Karate Kid movie came from the producer, who heard a news report in 1983 about a scrawny teen being bullied and then became a martial artist. Also, the story of the movie is based on the life of its screenwriter, Robert Mark.
Oh, I thought it was Chuck Norris.
Robert Mark Kamen, who at age 17, after the 1964 New York's World's Fair, Kamen was beaten up by a gang of bullies.
The New York State Fair, or did you say the World's Fair?
New York World's Fair.
Same thing. World's Fair in 64 was held in New York.
He thus began to study martial arts in order to defend himself and was unhappy with his first teacher who taught martial arts as a tool for violence and revenge. So
Yes.
he moved on to study Okinawan karate under a Japanese teacher who did not speak English.
Makes
Filming
sense.
began in October 24th of 1983 and ended on December 8th of 1983. So 45 days of filming. As far as who was up for the lead roles, allegedly they had offered it to Sean Penn, but Sean Penn turned it down because he was trying to get more adult roles, like X-rated roles, I guess.
You sick of bad boys.
So when
Okay.
And Spicoli.
right? So when was Fast Times?
Fast Times is
81.
82. So it's filmed in 81.
Okay, so we're only a couple of years removed from Fast Times,
From Spicoli. So, right.
and already Sean Penn is looking for more adult type roles.
So Spicoli's doing karate would be the movie.
Right?
Sean Penn would have
that-
been better off as Johnny anyway.
Johnny, yeah, exactly.
Spicoli as
Yeah.
Johnny, yeah.
Charlie Sheen also turned the role down, so to star in Grizzly 2.
That's
Well,
another
he did
screwed
the
up
Wraith,
one.
didn't he, in 83?
Well, he was doing a film
Or that
called
was
Grizzly
86, wasn't it?
Grizzly 2, which actually didn't finish its production of the movie till 2020.
Grizzly 2.
Our friend Justin actually interviewed, what's his name, that is in the Indiana Jones movies and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
You've answered your own question. Thank you.
I know what his. I can't
Yeah,
think
exactly.
of his name.
No, it's just hard to pronounce his name. That's all.
Yeah.
It is.
No one knows who he is. Thank you
But
for
he's in the-
answering
No,
my
he plays
question.
Sala. He plays
He's
Sala.
in like he's like in 6 of the top 20 movies of all time.
It's irrelevant. No one knows who he is.
Yeah,
It's
they know
sad.
it when they see him.
Yeah, well, you could say that about anyone. Oh, yeah. It's like,
But anyway, Justin interviewed him on Grizzly, too, because it had just came out. So
That's
anyway,
messed.
that's a great move by Charlie Sheen there.
I
it's
missed
messed
Grizzly
up.
1.
This is like 1982. This movie films.
83.
We're only 83. Okay, even worse. We're 3 years away from Charlie Sheen starring in Platoon. The age thing is
Blows you
just
away,
like-
huh?
yeah.
I don't know if it was the age for Charlie Sheen. He just wanted to star in this Grizzly movie. So
No, I was saying him as in The Karate Kid. It just
Hard to
doesn't.
see him in high school, right?
this is 2 years before Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's in high school in that movie. He's also
No, he's not.
in
He's in
Lucas.
prison. He's in holding. He's waiting to be booked at the.
Yeah,
at
he's
the
not a
police
high school
station.
kid.
He's not in high school.
Oh, he's not.
No,
No,
he's just a criminal.
no.
The movie Lucas.
Yeah, he's in Lucas. Yeah,
And he plays high school student along with Corey
I'm-
Haim.
Well,
So
that's true.
Anyway.
Isn't he like the head football player there
yeah, he's like
in
quarterback.
Lucas? Yeah,
yeah, I've not seen that movie.
you've never seen Lucas?
No,
Wow.
I knew a guy named Lucas.
Nice. That would be your qualified to review Lucas. So I
Right.
knew a guy named Lucas. Yes.
Get back in track. Kyle Eastwood, that's Clint Eastwood's son, auditioned for the role of Daniel as well. And after he failed to get the part, Clint Eastwood banned all Coca-Cola products from the sets of the movies because Columbia Studios was owned by Coca-Cola at the time.
Because
Isn't-
daddy couldn't get him the role, huh?
Isn't that what Clinton named the empty chair that he used at the Republican National Convention?
I don't know.
Coca-Cola?
I don't watch
No.
the Republican convention. Elizabeth Shue interrupted her studies at Harvard.
Which
be
is
in this
messy.
movie.
Which is crazy. she looks so young. I
They
mean,
all
I'm not.
look
She
kinda-
looks like she's
I'm
in
not
high
com-
school.
We'll
I'm not
get into that in a
complaining.
second here.
I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, wow, she was in Harvard. I mean, Natalie Portman went to Harvard too. So I mean,
And
Did
here's
Brooke
another
Shields
one.
go to Harvard too?
I think so.
So I'm going to mispronounce this one, so Ted might know this one better than I do.
Uh-oh.
Toshiro Mifune auditioned
Yeah,
for the role of Mr. Miyagi.
he was the one that starred in the Ishiro Kurosawa movies, right?
You are correct, sir.
Kurosawa was one of the greatest movie directors of all time. The Seven Samurai, which is, of course, the basis for the Magnificent Seven. He was a huge influence on George Lucas and Steven Spielberg and Francis Coppola and Martin Scorsese.
So they didn't want Pat Morita to audition for Miyagi because they didn't think a comedian would be a good person to take seriously in this role. Morita wasn't even allowed to audition at first, but they
That's
couldn't
messed up.
find anybody. So they finally let him to audition, but he failed his first audition. He couldn't speak the language well enough.
Couldn't find anyone of Asian descent. Is that why?
He had to get his accent a little thicker for him to be considered for the role. Because he went by Pat. He didn't go by a Japanese name, which
Right.
that's how they promoted it. They gave him his Japanese name,
He goes by Pat. His real name, though, is Noriyuki Morita.
which is what they put on the billing
Right. Yeah.
originally.
Yeah.
So it made it sound more authentic. Pat Morita's portrayal of Mr. Miyagi was heavily influenced by karate master Fumio Demura. Morita spent a lot of time with Demura, who also doubled for him in the fight scenes.
Pat Morita didn't do his own stunts?
No, Pat Morita did not do his own stuff.
Is that
Wimsapp had no karate experience prior to being cast in this film. However, he was an accomplished wrestler. He continued his training after the film to become a second-degree green belt. So that's some fun things. And also the referee in the final match is Pat E. Johnson. He's a karate expert and former student of Chuck Norris. He was also the guy who choreographed the film, the fight scenes. William also stated that there was an actual mini karate tournament, I guess for like small people. It was being held in the background. Well, if you notice some of the
Midget
fight
karate.
scenes, there's really, really small kids
Nice.
Wow.
battling it out. So,
It's like Kramer fighting them.
so
It's
as far
like
as the music,
the opening scene of Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, exactly.
throw them on a dartboard.
Right.
So according to Joe Esposito, the song "You're the Best" was originally written for Rocky III.
That's messed. That's
I can
messed
see
up.
that. I can
That's
see
so
that.
messed up, though.
Well, there's a
Yeah,
line in
that-
there which history repeats itself.
Yeah, yeah.
That's written for Rocky 3. But it had been rejected, of course, for Eye of the Tiger.
Of course, because
And
Eye
of
of the
course,
Tiger's
Survivor
badass.
also performed the theme song, The Moment of Truth, which is pretty
Yeah.
I like that song. Now, here we go. Despite being high school students, here are the ages of the actors. Ralph Macchio was 22 years
Macchio?
old during film.
Ralph
Macchio.
Macchio?
He was 22. Elizabeth Shue was 20. Rob Garrison and Tony O'Dell were 23. Chad McQueen was 22, but he was going on 23. Ron Thomas was 22. And William was the only real teenager of the main cast.
Yeah,
He was
what
actually
I
18.
was gonna say. Yeah.
So actually, all these guys, this should have been like a college portrayal. They should
Yeah.
all have been at college together.
Right?
Yeah, but high school really is where it's at.
And it's funny because the one that looks the oldest is Dutch, which is Chad McQueen.
Yeah, right.
And actually,
he looks like he's 50.
And if we talk about problems on the set, it was Chad McQueen that they
Of
had problems
course.
with.
Of course, because
In fact, they cut some scenes of his because he got a little too
Aggressive.
wound up.
Yeah.
he's Steve McQueen's son. I mean,
Yeah.
of course he's going to have problems because he's
So-
not as cool as his dad.
Who just
In fact,
died 3 years earlier.
right.
Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah.
get to see his son even become an actor. So there are still photos from the film because I guess originally he gets upset to losing to Daniel in the fight and they have to put him in a chokehold.
Yeah.
But that was cut from the film. But yeah, they said he was a problem child on the set.
Yeah. There's a big surprise.
That's all I got for Ken's tidbits.
Oh, I
So-
got a tidbit for you.
Oh, yeah.
So the car, the
car.
yellow car that was given to him by Pat Morita as a gift,
He still
was
owns it.
actually, he still owns it, was actually
still
given to
owns
him by
it,
the
yeah.
producer of the movie, and he still owns the car as of today.
Yes, I did read that.
It's a nice car.
So,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. All of Mr. Miyagi's cars are pretty cool.
No, it's California,
One of them
nothing
is-
Russ.
One of them was kind of drunky.
You're talking about the truck, yeah. The truck is a little drunky.
Well, there was like 4 of them, and I think one of them was.
It's like a Sanford and Son truck. So
Yeah.
So, Eric, why don't you give us the setup?
anytime I see the word Daniel, I'm going to say damn you, son.
Damn you, son.
So,
Okay.
not
all right.
Danielson, damn you, son.
Damn you, son.
Damn you,
you,
son. All right.
So, damn you, son, LaRusso. And now I probably should do that. Because now the sensitivity training is going to have to kick in. I can't do sensitivity training again. Daniel LaRusso and his mother, Lucille, moved from Newark, New Jersey to Reseda, Los Angeles, California. Their apartment's handyman is an eccentric but kind and humble Okinawan immigrant named Mr. Miyagi. At a beach party the following day, Daniel meets and befriends Allie Mills, a high school cheerleader, drawing the attention of her arrogant ex-boyfriend, Johnny Lawrence, a black belt and top student from the Cobra Kai dojo, where an
Cobra Kai.
aggressive form of karate is taught. Johnny and his Cobra Kai gang, Bobby Brown, Tommy, Jimmy, and Dutch, continually... Bobby Brown, that's right.
New addition?
When he's not beating up Whitney Houston, he's doing karate. Yet continually bully Daniel at a Halloween party. After Daniel sprays water on Johnny with a hose as payback, Johnny and his gang chase Daniel. Just reading this is like, this movie sounds like it sucks. Johnny and his gang chase Daniel and brutally beat him up until Miyagi suddenly intervenes and easily defeats them. Daniel asks Miyagi to accompany him to Cobra Kai to resolve the conflict. They meet the sensei, John Kreese, an ex-Special Forces Vietnam nutjob veteran who dismisses the peace offering. Miyagi then proposes that Daniel enter the upcoming Under-18 All-Valley Karate Championship to compete against Kreese's students on equal terms and requests that the bullying ceases while Daniel trains. Kreese agrees to the terms, but warns that if Daniel does not show up for the tournament, the harassment will continue for both of them.
Bum, bum, bum,
Ooh.
bum.
Yes, John Kreese.
Lord
Cease.
have mercy.
Yes.
All three of us are very aware of the alternate version of this movie where Daniel is the villain and Johnny Lawrence is the actual good guy.
Well, it's not an alternate version. It's,
Right.
it's a fan version of
Right,
it.
it's a fan version.
It's great.
It's awesome.
from what Barney and How You
Yes,
I Met Your
How I
Mother.
Met Your Mother. It's his
Right,
idol.
yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Never mind that he takes Elizabeth Shue's boombox and destroys it.
He's the hero, man.
There's so many things here at the beginning. I hate Daniel's mom. She's one of the most annoying people ever.
She's supposed
And-
to be annoying. That's what.
And the fact that
It's a
she looks
mom.
like my ex-mother-in-law, it makes it even worse.
So
She does.
is she divorced
She looks exactly like Diane.
did her husband leave her or
They don't say in this movie.
yeah?
I don't know
She's
if he
just going out
died.
there
Sure.
for a
I'm sure because an annoying Italian.
Oh gosh,
nice.
nice
It's
stereotyping there.
There we go.
I-
There we go. Hey,
Uh,
Daddy, you want some ragu?
Forget
It's-
about it.
It's so bad. The fact that she always touting how great this place is.
It's a shithole.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, even as a kid, you knew the way that she was building it up.
Oh yeah,
It was going to turn into a dump.
yeah.
Yeah.
All we need is like meth heads hanging out around the pool or something. Just to
Well, it's a little early for meth. I would be looking more crack. Probably
We don't know what that lady
crack.
was on
Yeah.
downstairs with the dog. She wasn't even giving her dog
Mm.
water because she was
She
too
was
high already.
freaking on angel dust or something. Yeah, it's just I don't like the way she talks. It's so
I think it's perfect. I think it's
so
perfect because
it's so New Jersey and so bad.
exactly.
exactly.
It is so New Jersey.
But that's what you need here. You need it. This is the kind of mother. Her only son. Basically, that's her life.
No,
It's
apparently
her
her
life.
job. Her
She-
job is her life.
Her job is her life.
She's like,
She leaves his
Well-
ass. She leaves his ass by himself the entire movie.
Well, he's 16, 17 years old. I don't
he's
think he needs to
23.
be.
Come on.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's-
in real life, he's like
He's just not
22.
smart. That's all.
He's a fucking idiot.
He's
It's
been
like,
held back a
yes,
few years.
Couple years. Yeah.
But
He's
yeah,
Billy
she-
Bob Thornton and Sling Blade.
Yeah.
But I think she fits the
Mm.
character perfectly. The overprotecting mom, the mom that, you know,
Oh yeah. Let me see
Yeah,
your baby
I-
Browns. Come on.
exactly.
Oh my
yeah.
god, that's so annoying.
I know.
And I love the car. I love the car because
Oh, the car that
you
you have to push
I
to start.
hate-
push to
Yeah.
start. I
hate
think it's
the
awesome.
car.
How does
The
she get
man-
to work every day? Does Daniel
don't
have to
know.
like help her push the car to start her
Who the-
work every day?
Who the fuck are they? Are they the fucking Flintstones?
The kindness
Exactly,
of
that's what I was
strangers.
thinking.
It's
So-
just, it's so stupid. I was like, okay,
I don't
come
know if
on
it's
now.
stupid. It shows them where they are. It's a fish out
Broke is
water
what
movie.
they are.
Does she actually drive the family truckster from the vacation
Yes.
movie?
Yeah.
Yes, it seems like a lot of those movies had that station wagon.
The
you know, and
station,
it's-
yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
but
John Hughes was making fun of.
But I like her, and I like the character of Daniel up to this point. He doesn't want to leave, and why would he want to leave? His friends are all in New Jersey. In fact, all those kids that were there saying goodbye to them were actually locals that wouldn't stop bothering production. So they said, "Hey, we'll put you in the movie if you stop harassing us." So
Why
that's
did
how
you
those.
put that on Kids Tidbits? All the kids look like they're like 9 years old too.
Well, I mean, Daniel's on his way to becoming a jet all the way, from your first cigarette till your last dying day. Come on.
West Side Story, really?
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, of course. Because once
Rita
you're a jet,
Moreno.
you're a jet all
Yeah.
the way. Yeah.
They should have got Rita Moreno.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody not so freaking annoying. Oh my God, she's annoying. I hate her voice.
I thought he was going to say, I walked into a doorknob, Mom. Nice
Right,
try.
You wanted him to be
Hey.
uncomfortable. You want that. You want that
Hey.
family dynamic. You want her to kind of embarrass him, but she does, and she doesn't know that she's embarrassing him. Of course, right?
So they get out of the family truckster, and he's supposed to help bring up their luggage, and all he brings up is his bike and his briefcase.
I think that's luggage, actually.
Yeah. 'cause
Early 80s luggage is pretty obsolete.
So what? He has a magician's briefcase where it has a bottomless
got-
thing. And
It's got his ventriloquist dummy in
It's
there.
not
and-
that small. It's not that small. In fact, he has to karate kick the door and knock that poor boy on his ass just to get into the facility. Those friends of his, man, they abandon him pretty quickly as soon as he
Of
gets his
course.
ass kicked on
well,
the beach.
yeah, because the hero of the movie, Johnny Lawrence, comes along and kicks his ass.
Yeah, because the other kids would be able to beat Johnny, right?
Well, yeah, nobody would be able to beat Johnny. He's the hero of the movie. What are you talking about?
course, we want our hero of the movie to be as lone as possible. We don't want anybody to like him. We want him to have problems with his mom because his mom wants to be there and he doesn't. All your classic tropes are here at the beginning.
And of course,
this movie.
he falls in with the beautiful blonde on the beach in
California.
Well, we all
just-
fell in love with her, when we first saw her in the movie too.
Of
You
course.
fell in love with her mom, Ken. So or his mom. So
Yeah. What are
I'm
you
not
talking
picky.
about?
I'm not picky. Hey, I was 12 years old. I didn't know any better.
hey, she's got a stable job. Come on,
Right. She's got a
Right.
car.
got Hot Wheels. Yeah,
It's fun, and we'll put it that way.
it really is your stereotypical 80s beginning
Yeah,
a movie.
it is.
It's
And of
right
course the-
textbook.
This entire movie, the only songs that are even tolerable,
Oh, it's Bananarama.
the best.
Cruel Summer.
Oh my God, some of those were so
Cruel
horrible.
Summer is an awesome song. Bananarama.
I thought the songs on the soundtrack was pretty good. Actually, the
Hmm.
soundtrack did really well.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
It wasn't Karate Kid too
We
well,
had
but it was
notes
very
as-
good.
There was also a lot of cocaine being done in the 80s. It's
By Joe Esposito.
right, because some of this music is just horrible.
Well, it's the time, man.
It's total 80s.
I guess they
and
couldn't get
it's-
Kenny Loggins to do something. I don't know.
Exactly. Where's my man Kenny
Where's Kenny,
Loggins,
right?
man?
I think he's
I'm-
doing Footloose at this particular time.
Yeah, 83,
Well,
84.
now there's a soundtrack.
That's a soundtrack, but a cheesy ass movie, but a great
Yeah,
soundtrack.
It's a
Terrible movie.
bad movie. But
But
it's,
obviously, have you seen the remake?
no,
No, thank you.
Don't.
No,
I didn't
I'm
want.
sorry.
I didn't want to see the
Don't.
original.
Don't.
The original's kind of a guilty type of 80s
Yeah,
pleasure.
it is. It is same with Karate
The-
Kid. It's a guilty pleasure.
I refuse to watch the original.
The remake?
sequel. Yeah, the
I
remake.
watched it.
Yeah,
It's a
no.
train wreck. Don't even bother.
And I think that the chick who she's from Dancing with the Stars, right? She's
In what?
in the remake.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I think she's incredibly hot.
Didn't help in
And
this movie.
It didn't help at all. No, it's got off.
I'm going to disagree with you, Ted. Though I do think the soundtrack is good.
Of
I
this
think
movie?
the soundtrack's good. Yeah, I think it's fine.
Karate Kid.
The Moment of Truth is a cool song. I like it.
The Moment of
Moment-
Truth's okay, and like I said, the best around.
Yeah,
I mean,
mean-
those are okay, but the rest of it's one woofer after another.
One.
and actually, I would think the score is pretty decent. I mean, it's Bill Conti,
Yeah,
and Bill Conti is like
well,
he's like
fuck,
the poor man's John Williams, basically. But yeah, so
Jesus Christ.
but John Williams does all like the mega hits, and he gets the second tier. So, but
I
he
didn't even
is a
know
very
John
good composer,
Conti
though.
was. When I think of like this next tier down from John Williams, I think of like Hans Zimmer and
Not Bill Conti.
Danny Elfman.
Poor
and-
man's John Williams. Danny Elfman, yeah.
I mean, just because a guy could press a button on a
A
synthesizer,
So you're saying Bill Conti is a bad
I
producer?
I don't know, but
Because Conti did the Rocky movie.
okay,
That's why he got this, because the director of Rocky is also director of this movie. as
yeah,
well.
and they were
So he also did The Right Stuff, Thomas
okay.
Crown Affair, For
Which
Your
one?
Eyes Only. Well, there's some.
The
he
Thomas-
did
Your
a
eyes
lot-
only.
Yeah,
the
he did
Tom
a lot of movies in the 80s and 90s.
the Thomas Crown Affair with
The original or the
With Steve
No, the
McQueen?
Pierce Bronson one.
Pierce Brosnan?
okay.
I thought that was in the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah,
In the 80s and
okay.
90s, he did
Yeah.
broadcast news.
Yeah.
So he did a lot of
For
big
your-
movies. Okay, let's just be honest here. Can these boys be any
Older?
Dumber.
not older, just more asshole than they are? I mean, they all follow this karate instructor. Yeah, we'll get to that towards the end of the
Give
movie.
him a body bag.
I mean, he's harassing his ex-girlfriend, and all his friends are on board with it. I mean, it's your typical 80s. Hey, we're bullies. We're gonna, we don't care about, about
it's
about his girl.
why Johnny Lawrence is the ultimate 80s bully. Outside of Biff Tannen, you could argue that Johnny
Biff
Lawrence
Tannen.
was the biggest bully
Make like a
to
tree.
come to
Get out of here.
It makes me laugh every time. I don't care how many times I hear it. It makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Johnny Lawrence is the guy that everybody loved to hate.
And just the name, Johnny Lawrence.
Johnny Lawrence.
Yes, it just sounds
And then
like
when you knew his name, it was William Zabka. I mean, the poor guy didn't get another role after this for a long
Stifler,
time.
Man. He's Stifler. Yeah.
Because everybody hated him. He couldn't get a role as a good guy. Because everybody hated him.
He was in Better Off Dead. And he was a bad guy in Better Off Dead, too.
Exactly, see?
It's that stupid weightlifter guy who's always beating up the nerds.
Right?
Yeah.
We're, I guess, kind of downplaying the scope of this movie. I mean, because before this, Ralph Macchio was known for The Outsiders.
Yeah.
Which people saw, but not nearly what The Karate Kid was. William Zabka, I mean, he couldn't even go audition for other roles. They'd just turn him down.
He's typecast.
Right, completely.
He's playing high school kids for like in the 30s.
What I remember him from is European Vacation. He's
the
boyfriend.
That's right.
He's like, I can't leave Jack.
Oh, that's right. He's Jack. Yeah, European Vacation.
I completely forgot that.
He's like,
he's a dick in that too.
Yes, he is. Like, I like him thin.
Right. Debbie's been coming over to keep me company. She's like, that bitch.
And actually, he wasn't in Better Off Dead.
Are you sure?
He was positive. But he was in Back to School with
That's
Rodney
right.
Dangerfield.
Yes.
Okay.
So, because he played played almost the same type of character. You know, he's got a girlfriend. They seem to be broken up, and the other character tries to get it on with her.
What am I thinking of? It's not Better Off. Where's the one where he's bench pressing like the tables with the nerds on it? What movie is that? Tom Cruise is in it. He's one of the nerds.
Tom Cruise is a nerd.
Tom Cruise is a nerd.
Wow.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
This is going to bug me.
Is this pre the teeth getting changed? Tom Cruise?
Potentially. My
pretty risky business. By the way, you got to roll in Hot Tub Time Machine.
That's right, he did. That's right.
I've still never seen that.
Really?
It's not worth it.
It was a stupid movie. It made me laugh a couple of times.
Yeah, it's a little sick. A little disgusting in my opinion. He's actually been in a lot of TV too, especially now that he's doing Cobra Kai. And Cobra Kai has been really successful. And that's why we're doing this episode. Not only is this the 40th anniversary of Cobra Kai, of Karate Kid, but Cobra Kai is finishing their final season starting in November.
That's a shame.
And there's supposed to be a new Karate Kid movie coming out too.
But if you think of the dynamic, so Ted was talking about how, there's the fan theory that Johnny's
the good
guy here.
He's a hero.
The beach, there's no way of saying that that's the case.
No,
True.
he's a dick.
He's a dick on the
dick.
beach. Yes.
Not only is he a bully, he's the whiny bully.
Right.
That's what sets him apart. And nothing is his fault. And because that's why he's such a popular villain. Because everybody knew a dick like that. Who, nothing's my fault, but I'm going to bully you anyway.
Is it weird to you, though, that Mr. Miyagi, he's the fix-it guy, the janitor here?
Convenience.
But after the first 15 minutes of the movie, we never see him actually be a janitor ever again. He's always at the house now.
Okay, he's not the janitor. He's the maintenance guy.
Maintenance guy.
Okay, whatever. But he's not at his position basically after he makes friends with Daniel.
He's
and
at his house.
In an apartment complex, doesn't the maintenance guy live on site?
Yeah, because he gets free rent. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So why does he have a house?
Because he's got a place for all his cars, his fence, his deck, all his plants.
He must be a part-time maintenance guy because
because he's never a maintenance guy ever again.
He's never a maintenance guy ever again after that. Yeah, after the first 15 minutes of the film.
Not.
It's funny.
He can fix everything though. He fixes his bike.
Thank God they didn't have Mr. Miyagi fall in love with Daniel's mom. That's one of the only things that they didn't do in this movie.
That reminds me of my favorite year, where the main character's mom, American, Asian Filipino.
Oh my God,
Filipino heavy lightweight, something like that. Yeah.
Does anybody have a problem too that Mr. Miyagi essentially beats the shit out of a bunch of high school kids.
You
No,
find
because
find it unbelievable, or
he didn't attack
The fact that
first.
it's kind of wrong. No,
Well, he
no,
didn't-
it's an
he didn't
adult
attack
beating the
first.
shit out of a bunch of kids.
I mean, in this day and age, he'd be doing time. But
He didn't start the fight. I mean, he's protecting another kid from getting his ass kicked. They should have all gone to juvie hall.
Juvie, yeah.
Yeah.
Juvie.
I mean, they 5-on-1 against a helpless kid. Yeah, so I don't have a problem with that. You know, he could beat those kids up all day long for all I care. So,
yeah,
wow.
he should have smashed their skulls in,
He
broke
said,
their
"No,
arms.
Johnny."
Yeah.
Yeah, not Johnny. You had that one kid that actually tried to talk some sense, but then still
Yeah.
kicked the shit out of Daniel as well. So
Yeah,
right.
and then they beat his ass too.
Yeah, right. He's not
Yeah,
enough. Boom. No mercy. I'll turn on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
I
my
did
goodness.
like the costume of him going as a shower. That was cool.
Oh, that's not
Oh,
too.
that's
I mean,
so
that was a little
stupid.
stupid. I mean, there's
So
no
like
way.
stupid.
There's no way you'd walk around a gym in a giant costume like that without people peeking in.
Exactly.
People just like in the bathroom before he turns the water on Johnny. People just ignoring him, and they're like,
Yeah, it's like it's normal. Here's a shower coming into
Here's a shower
into the
coming at
bathroom. Yeah, that was so dumb.
it was original, yes.
It was original, but it's
It's
still
like
dumb.
Johnny's
It's
a little bit of a
it
weed
makes-
deal or
it-
two on the side too.
right. It makes Daniel out to be a tool. He's not likable. He keeps calling Mr. Miyagi Mr. Miyagi, and that makes me want to punch him in the face. If there's one thing that makes me want Johnny Lawrence to beat the shit out of him, is that he keeps calling him Mr. Miyagi.
I don't know.
God.
I don't have a problem with that. You know, it's just mispronunciation. Do it all the time.
Daniel Lawrence, or Daniel
Lawrence.
LaRusso.
Get it right, man.
Daniel LaRusso has a very punchable face, too.
Apparently, he does have a very punchable face.
That's why his best friend now is a maintenance man. What?
Yeah.
Do you have any friends? Yeah, I have this 60-year-old maintenance man. He's like my best friend. I'll see you later.
Look at the time. Gotta go.
Look at that. I gotta go.
This is not too creepy.
Yeah,
I mean, Ellie's a pretty hot dish, and
And
he
he's-
almost screws
and
that
that
up too.
And he's
He almost
an
screws
idiot.
that up too.
Oh God, he's such an idiot. He is, and Daniel is kind of whiny too. It's, but
But
I mean,
they're
you
high
have
school
to-
students. Isn't
you have
all
to
high
root-
school students
you-
be whiny?
you have to root for him because he's the Karate Kid.
I like Mr. Miyagi though. He's so low key at the beginning of the movie. You got Daniel. He's like everything.
Aye.
When are you gonna fix it? Later. When's later? Later. Then he comes up there and Daniel's practicing karate through a book, and he's just kind of scoffing at it, laughing at it. Mr. Miyagi at first comes off being a little bit of an ass, a little bit at the beginning.
Good, he should be. He should have a little Italian ass into shape.
He's trying to catch a fly instead of fixing their
Don't
sink.
even. Oh, you know what? And the fact that dipshit LaRusso comes in and gets it on his first fucking try makes me want to begin us. Look, Mr. Miyagi.
Oh,
should
Mr.
have-
Miyagi was pissed.
Mr. Miyagi should have dumped him into the green pool outside.
You go
But
now.
it is funny. It is funny because the reaction of Mr. Miyagi is pretty fun.
Pat Morita's awesome in this movie.
Well, that's why he
Don't
got
get-
the Oscar nom.
Yeah, he should have tossed Daniel out into the green pool.
Green pool.
That's nasty.
Oh God, it's horrible. And isn't that Mr. Miyagi's job too? Is to make sure that the pool works?
You would think so, yes.
He's got to be the worst maintenance man in history.
That's what I'm saying. He's never at his job. When he's at his job, he's trying to catch flies or trim trees.
That's what
nothing.
she said.
Nothing to do with nothing to do with the property whatsoever. I mean, it looks like Mr. Miyagi does really well with the place that he lives at, though. He's got a really, really
Well,
nice
that's because
place, nice
Daniel's doing
backyard.
all the maintenance for him.
Yeah, right.
no, yeah, exactly. Right. He's got child labor. The whole thing of Daniel like putting the hose over the so stupid.
I don't know if it's stupid.
Was Johnny rolling a joint in
Yes.
the bathroom?
Yes, he
Okay.
was. With his little
All right.
headphones on.
Yeah.
And actually, in-
listening to you're the best.
The best
around.
Actually, that scene was cut in overseas because England didn't want to show Johnny rolling a joint.
Dear
Dun,
God in
dun.
heaven.
I know,
Because the
right?
Rolling Stones, the Beatles, the Kinks, and all of those guys never did anything like that.
Never.
Well, you also know that most of those people that you just mentioned also got arrested for that shit too.
Yes, most likely. Yeah, they did. Jeez.
I don't have a problem with it. I think Daniel was fed up with them and he kind of wanted it, but he had no exit strategy. That was the problem.
Well,
He needed-
he's an idiot.
He doesn't think before he acts.
The fact that he ruined Johnny's weed is another reason that not for Johnny to beat his ass.
Here's the thing that I didn't like about it was after they went to the Cobra Kai and they had the agreement not to pick on him while he's training. Then he turns into like the biggest asshole.
Yeah,
He's like, hey everybody.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, with the history teacher, it's like,
No,
It's
that
like,
was
oh,
kind of dumb.
you're an
That I
ass
think
hat.
would have worked better if you would have done the history teacher before the deal was made, just to kind of get him out of a fight. That would have been kind of good. But how about but when he's running away though from them, he causes all those cars to crash into each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, way to go, Larissa. You suck.
Tony
And then
LaRussa,
What, LaRussa? Yeah.
Larissa.
the manager.
Larissa,
Okay, so you're telling me that the master of the sensei of Cobra Kai is gonna make a deal and stick to it. You guys don't ever, quote unquote, go after Daniel again. These are the no mercy guys, and all of a sudden he's gonna make a deal with these two idiots to come into his dojo. I mean, he's the big guy. He's the big guy, of course, around. He's going to make a deal with them that they're going to hold off on him.
Oh yes.
And you make sure that you don't touch him before the tournament.
But that plays in the movie.
It has to.
It has
Right.
to. That's your plot.
But it doesn't fit his character. If there's an evil person in this entire movie, it is Cove's character.
John Cease. Yeah.
Yeah. John Cleese.
Cleese. Yes.
Yeah, John Cleese.
It is definitely
and it's
and he
definitely
just-
not John Cleese either.
no. He comes off really just kind of like arrogant.
He's
like
awesome.
he is. I mean, he comes off arrogant. Like he literally threatens them both. Like
Right.
I'm going to kill both of you if you don't. If
Exactly.
you don't play ball, you're both dead.
And I believe that he
Yes.
could.
I think though, with all the students behind him, it's hard for him to go against his word once he tells the students something. It's kind of like, what's that movie that we talked about like this? It's kind of like A Few Good Men. If you tell your men to do something, then why should there be an order not to touch them? Why should you have to get them out of the
Code Red?
military?
Code Red.
That's
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
So that's actually a good.
Yeah.
That's actually a good comparison.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah, it's a good analogy. Look at you.
Yeah,
I
look
would
at me.
never have made that connection.
It's the same thing because
But I guess it is. I still
Nicholson
don't know-
is like John Kreese. He's the bully.
Yeah. All right.
Well, and so he's got to save face in front of his. Now, you could do things in the background, but I think in this particular case, because it's a karate tournament, he's confident. He's going to win. Why not give him this?
okay.
I think it's in his character. He's
Okay.
arrogant. He's
Well, definitely.
overconfident.
Extremely overconfident.
Yeah. No way his guys can lose.
Now that makes me wonder: did John Kreese actually order the Code Red?
There
You're
you go.
goddamn right, I did.
Maybe he should have been in that movie.
No, Jack is awesome in that movie.
So Jack should have been the sensei here.
Oh,
Anyway.
that would have been great.
You better I could just tell him saying something about laying down a challenge or leave his
Yeah.
dojo. I
Yeah.
can see Jack talking about that. But here's the thing that I don't agree with is what are the odds that Daniel's even going to fight any of his guys in the tournament?
Like get
Because
there,
the first
right?
fight is not even against one of his guys.
Right.
So how do they even know he's going to make it past the first round? That's the
And
only
it-
reason
and
why
it's-
I think the deal shouldn't be made.
And the crazy thing too is this does the quote unquote agreement only apply to Johnny Lawrence and his little band of merry idiots, or does it count to the whole dojo? Because it would be better if it would have just have applied to Johnny and his little group, and then the rest of Cobra Kai kids
Just-
beat the shit
Well,
out
the
of
rest of the
Daniel
Cobra Kai
Larusso.
kids, I don't think are as bad as Johnny and his group.
No,
I
they're
think
not.
they're
They're
probably because I mean you see some of them in the the karate contest, and they're getting their butts kicked
They
easily.
suck.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh God.
The only thing I didn't get, so he's in the restaurant talking to his mom about his new girlfriend and stuff, and they
Oh, that's
see him
right.
through the window, but nothing
Yeah.
comes of it. I mean,
No,
I guess
no.
afterwards they go ahead and they kick him down the hill on his bike, but what did they all just wait till it got dark outside and then they chased him?
Well, too many witnesses, man.
Too many witnesses, I guess.
I guess they just didn't have a lot of time on their hands, I guess, just to wait
it's
for that
so-
guy.
It's so weird.
They're like driving their
I-
motorcycles like they're in.
I think you got your facts mixed up.
I do. No. Crap, that Kiefer Sutherland
Oh, what
vampire
cars were
movie.
they?
Oh,
Lost
Lost
Boys.
Boys.
Lost Boys, like they're driving their bikes all over the place, like in
Yeah,
Lost
yeah.
Boys.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's right. They did. The one place I want to go hang out though is the arcade mini golf and water slide place. That looks freaking awesome. Makes me
Yeah.
want to go to an arcade. Makes me miss Aladdin's Castle big time. Like,
We didn't have
Big
water
time.
slides like that in our area.
Have we talked about her arrogant prick parents? The
no, I
girlfriend's
think
parents?
I think that's
Is that
the
in
second
the
half.
second part?
Where Daniel comes in dressed all in white. And of course, he gets all of the marinara sauce dumped on him because he's wearing white.
That's why
Lord
they
have
didn't
mercy.
mistake him for a waiter when he's walking in the back there.
Exactly.
Oh, what?
Hey,
Right.
table 7 needs a salad. Yeah.
Eric, why don't you get us to the build since we want to get there anyway?
Oh
so.
my
the
goodness.
build,
Let's do it.
dude.
The build.
Because Eric, you're the best
I am.
around. Get us to the build.
That's right. Daniel's training starts with days of menial chores.
How
that
about
seemingly
Days of Thunder?
Days of Thunder that seemingly only serve to make him just a worker for Miyagi. When he becomes frustrated about it, Miyagi demonstrates the repetition of these chores has helped Daniel to learn defense blocks through muscle memory. That would have been a great name for the movie, Muscle Memory. See, their bond develops and Daniel learns about Mr. Learns. This is a typo. Their bond develops and Daniel
Damn you,
learns about
Wikipedia.
Mr. Miyagi's life, including the tragic loss of both his wife and son in childbirth in an internment camp. Meanwhile, he was serving in World War II in Europe, where Miyagi received the Medal of Honor. Now, was he with the Japanese Army or the U.S. Army?
The fourth
Japanese.
no, he's with
Japanese
the American Army. He's with the 400. Well, I'll go into it.
So
I can
U.S.
tell
Army.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, I know all about
Okay.
the Army. The
You know the
division he's-
history of Mr. Miyagi. Got it. Okay.
the division that he fought
Okay.
with. Yeah.
Through Miyagi's teaching, Daniel learns both karate and essential life lessons, such as the importance of personal balance, reflected in the principle that martial arts training is as much about training the spirit as the body. He applies the life lessons Miyagi has taught him to strengthen his relationship with Ali. On Daniel's 18th birthday, Miyagi gives him one of the vintage cars. All right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Done.
Was it his 18th or was it his 16th birthday?
I thought it was his 25th birthday.
I thought it was his
All right.
18th birthday.
Okay, that's fine. It's either one way or the other. So just as a quick aside, the division
Don't bring us down, Ted. Okay.
the division that Mr. Miyagi fought with is the 433rd division.
Killing Germans.
It was
Yeah.
made up entirely. It was made up entirely of
You know a little German.
Japanese Americans,
Okay.
He's rolling.
and it is the most decorated division in Army history. They had more medals of honor and more bronze and silver stars and other accolades come from that division than any division in the Army ever. They fought their way from Sicily all the way up through Italy and basically took back Italy. The amount of casualties that they took taking back Italy and Sicily were astronomical. It is an amazing thing. So even though normally I would say that it's so cliche that he wins the Medal of Honor, coming from the division that he fought with, it's not that big of a stretch because I think they ended up getting something like 15 to 20 Medals of Honor out of that division, which
And the time frame
is
makes sense.
unheard of.
Being 83, 84, World War II, that makes perfect
Right.
sense.
It
The
does.
time age.
and makes sense that they were in an internment camp,
Yep.
which is one of the big controversies because you had this division that was so decorated and their families were in camps here
Yes.
in America. It's one of the big injustices in American history.
Yes,
But-
it is.
Because I know that there was a big controversy about why Mr. Miyagi was drunk in that scene. It makes sense because those guys would have had PTSD.
Oh, yeah.
And if
Oh, yeah.
they're going back and he's having a get together, they've relived some exceptionally horrific
It
time.
might have also been the anniversary of her dying, too.
True. Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
I'm sure there was some type of an anniversary related to that to set him off.
Yeah, and it makes sense because they're in California.
Yeah.
He's in California, so they would have had get-togethers as a group of the survivors and everything. So, yeah.
Okay.
That is actually one of the most accurate parts of the movie, even though you're like, oh, he won the Medal of Honor. And it's why in the TV show Cobra Kai, the Netflix show Cobra Kai, they kind of do his Medal of Honor dirty. And that really pissed me off. You don't fuck around with Medal of Honor.
Well, that's right, Cobra.
I think
It's-
the TV show itself is decent, but I don't
The
know if they
TV show
explained
is
that well.
okay. No, they really did. They really relied on you to know this story in Karate Kid, and that he won the Medal of Honor, and it really affected him. That rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like,
Yeah.
In Cobra Kai.
yeah, in Cobra
Yes.
Kai,
Not in this
it
movie.
just
No, in this movie, it's probably what won him got him the
it
nomination.
was
Basically.
Yeah.
well, it was that scene. That scene is what won him the nomination for either Best Actor or Best Supporting Actor.
It was best actor. It was
So-
best supporting.
Best Supporting. That makes sense. So yeah, there was this scene where he's drunk that won him that.
And he
And
actually lost to
it's
another Asian person for best supporting actor.
Your seller.
No, I can't pronounce his name, but it's from the Killing Fields.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well,
That was a
you want to talk about a movie that bring you the fuck down?
right. That's
Holy
right up there with
shit.
yeah. That's yeah.
That's right up there with Schindler's List.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
All I know is I haven't met a maintenance man that will give me a vintage car for my birthday. So what the hey?
Or fix your bike.
Right.
Or beat up your
fix-
enemies.
Beat up your enemies. Yeah.
This is all within like a 2 to 3 month time frame. I mean,
Was
it's
it
not
2
like
to
they're
3 months
lifelong
or
friends.
It looked like 3 days.
And try to get him drunk.
Oh yeah, you guess
You'll drink,
Yeah.
Danielson.
You drink Danielson.
Yes.
yes,
And-
yes.
and-
you come
and
over
then-
here to my bed,
and then put him to work and turn what
and it becomes a sex
What's-
slave too.
Stop it.
17, 18-year-old wouldn't have looked at that fence and been like,
I'm out
fuck
of here.
you, old
Yes,
man.
yes.
I'm out of here.
I'm going
He had
back.
a lot of
I'm going back to
patience.
the YMCA. This is
Right.
I'm gonna go get my ass kicked by Johnny. It's much easier.
As a viewer, we wonder what's going to come of it, right?
I mean, when I initially saw this, I remember thinking, okay, why is
Right.
he having him do all
Right.
this labor?
I thought it was to
wish
strengthen them up. I
Yeah.
didn't know about the moves, but I thought it was to strengthen
right.
them up.
I wish when Mr. Miyagi does the moves to him, he wouldn't get it immediately. And Mr. Miyagi punched him in the nose.
Yes.
And then he didn't quite
Still
understand.
too slow.
Pat Morita, for a guy who didn't know martial arts very well, he does those moves really fast. And all of a sudden, Daniel LaRusso turns into Chuck fucking Norris. It's like, okay, come on now. All of a sudden, he quote unquote gets it all just real quick. It's like he's like Neo in the Matrix. It's like they downloaded Kung Fu into his brain. I know Kung Fu.
I think at first it's okay, like when he's doing the wax on, wax off, paint
Right.
defense, all that. But when he goes to the end and does all the moves all at once, I think that's a little too much.
You know what would have been okay? What would have got me there? Mr. Miyagi's doing the stuff, and Daniel has in his mind, he has a memory back to wax on, wax off, and then it clicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And instead of him just automatically I know Kung Fu. I'm Neo. It's like, what the hell, Daniel?
I kind of like the way he did it. It
Yeah?
made sense because
Okay.
he's like, okay,
All
it's
right.
on the floor. He went
Right.
through
Saying
all
how
three
many
of them.
times.
He went through all of them. Sand the floor,
Right,
paint
right.
the fence,
Wax on, wax off.
wax the car.
And it's a great teaching way because he's teaching him defense
Yeah.
before attack.
Right.
And it's the opposite of John Kreese.
Oh, I love it. Love it when he finished painting the fence on one side and he's like all done. He's like,
Yeah.
other
Well,
side.
the other side.
And it's like, fine.
Daniel should have said, bullshit. You didn't
You
say
don't know
both
the other
sides,
side of
old
the-
man. Why don't you go fix our sink? It is kind of.
Aren't you supposed to be at work? You're like 2 hours late.
And the other thing that I think is hilarious, it makes me laugh every time, is Daniel's when he's on the rowboat, and Pat Morita knocks him off.
Yes.
That makes me laugh. Every time he's teaching Daniel something, he should have done something to screw Daniel up. He'd have had to done the entire fence again.
Oh, I gave you wrong color. Yes. Nice.
But now we just made a comedy.
Sensitivity.
And then he goes fishing for the whole day. Okay.
Yes.
He doesn't even go to work that day. He doesn't even stay with them. He goes fishing.
Yes.
Why didn't you tell me you were going fishing? You weren't
You
here when
did-
I decided to go.
You didn't come early enough. That's
Oh,
Gosh. Come
Oh.
early so I can go fishing.
right.
Uh-huh.
That's so funny. It
It's
makes
the
me
worst
laugh.
maintenance man on the face of the earth. And we know we have the Rocky director here because we got a training montage.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes. The classic training montage.
Which is not bad. I don't mind the training montage.
No,
I have a
it's-
problem with the tournament montage, but we'll talk about when we get to the tournament.
when
It's
we get to
it's
the
not
tournament.
over the top montage.
No, nothing is over the top
No,
montage.
no.
Over the top is
It's not Rocky IV montage where
Yeah.
he's like going up a hill and screaming out Johnny's name. Johnny!
he climbs up the mountain in Encino.
Yes, right.
Climbs up the water slide.
It's at the Hollywood Hills Mountain. Johnny.
All of a sudden, Daniel LaRusso's on the beach and he's running against Carl Weathers.
Right.
And he beats Carl Weathers down the beach.
It's actually him and Pat Morita. They're both running down
No, it has to be Carl Weathers. And Carl Weathers is like doing a really fast walk trying to make sure that Daniel beats him.
Or Tim and
Just like-
Stallone.
Just
Yeah.
like Carl Weathers had to do for Sylvester Stallone.
By
Carl
the way,
Weathers should have won an Oscar for that.
Can Daniel and Allie have like one decent date without something going wrong?
Jesus.
Without
I mean,
their
every
mom.
time they're
Yeah.
together, something happens, right?
And Daniel is such a little bitch. He sneaks into the Encino Country Club and he's dressed like an
Waiter.
an icicle. And of course, the moment he's dressed all in white, he's going to get marinara sauce dumped all over him because he's Italian and he's dressed all in white. And so, because he's a spicy meatball.
Good thing we're not doing the Sopranos, man.
Oh
We're
my
going to be really going
goodness.
crazy on these
Like,
The
stereotypes.
Sopranos did Italian stereotypes very well.
Yeah,
He
'cause
did
they
it
all-
correctly.
because he couldn't say bruschetta. Bruschetta.
Bruschetta.
Yes.
Right. So
Wait till we do The Godfather. I'm scared now.
I love The Godfather.
I
It's
know you do.
amazing. But Daniel's he's a cliche. He's a walking cliche. Come on, the two of you didn't know that he was going to have marinara sauce dumped on him and he's dressed in white? Come on now. Come on.
I don't know if I knew that or it was going to happen. I don't know.
He's an Italian dressed in white and in a country club.
You're
I mean,
really
it's- let's-
dressed in white. Hey, what?
Let's put it
I know.
because who does that? Nobody. Not
Oh,
even in
no.
the 80s. That went out with John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever.
Which wasn't that long ago.
I was horrible. It was bad then. But
Yeah.
anyway, so he sees
Johnny and Allie.
Lawrence, and Johnny. It couldn't have been more forced that he's forcing his tongue down Allie's throat, and that Allie's like basically like fighting him off like the skunk or the cat trying to get away from Pepe Le Pew. And
Oh,
Daniel's
mon
like,
chéri.
"Oh, you're kissing Johnny. and then he gets the marinara sauce dumped on him like a spicy meatball. And it's like,
Wow.
what the hell, dude? You're such a little bitch.
My favorite part of all this, though, is that he goes to that arcade and tries to apologize and everything, and she runs off. But she runs off, and she's in the corner watching these guys that are like fit guys coming off the slide.
Yeah,
It's like, I'm sitting there going, she chose that place to kind of like put her head down.
of
Doesn't
course.
Daniel see these guys that are like they're all buff and they're coming
Yeah,
out of the water?
They are.
I'm sitting here going, she knows what she's doing.
She exactly. Somebody in this relationship went to Harvard,
Yes, right.
and it's not you, Daniel-san.
It's like, you can hold me, and I'm just going to kind of keep my eyes that way.
Right?
I'm not going to turn around at
How
all.
about you get into the car that doesn't start again? The family roadster.
Well, at that time, he finally has that. He has
the
new
real car, yeah, which
He's
is a
got the-
badass
which
car.
he
I like
lets
that
her
car.
drive, and it's a stick. Yeah, because that's what you want to do. You want to get a brand new car that you adore, and you're going to give your girlfriend that you've been on and off with for the whole movie a chance to drive it. I'm
Right,
sorry,
you
that's not happening.
Right.
Or is it?
Michelle never drove when I had a stick shift. Michelle never drove the stick shift. Didn't even let her try.
Oh,
Just-
and another thing, didn't he have to leave to go see his mom because his mom baked something for his birthday?
oh my God.
And he didn't.
Yes.
He didn't even go. He's like, "Oh, I forgot, Mr. Miyagi. I gotta leave. I gotta
My
leave."
mom baked
And then-
ziti for me. I gotta go.
And then he
I
doesn't
gotta
even go.
Go. My mama made us a ziti for me.
That birthday cake is still sitting there because he never made it to home because he went to go see Allie.
Well, I would have went to see Allie too.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I just wouldn't have had her standing in front of a bunch of guys that are like 10 times more buff than me and just like look like Arnold Schwarzenegger compared to me.
I mean, you got these guys, and you got the scrawny, Daniel. So
Right.
Daniel is extremely scrawny.
I like
Oh,
her
he's a
friends.
little
are like,
bitch,
what
yeah.
does she see in him? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe she
And the
likes
one-
fungus.
Yes,
Right,
yeah,
the-
right.
The one finally gets lippy with him when he
Yeah.
asks her what her problem is. And she finally she's the one that knocks some sense into him, like, you're being an a-hole, dude.
Oh, that's right.
You're
You
out
didn't stay
kicking-
around for the rest of the show.
You've outkicked your coverage by like 2 football fields there, bro. Even William Zabka's outkicked his coverage with Allie in this movie. Pat Morita should have had a better shot.
Wow.
It reminds me now you saying better off dead. It reminds me when he loses his girlfriend. Even
Everyone's
the teacher
tried, yes.
asked, "Can I go out with Beth?"
Yeah. The
It's
mailman
like-
hitting on her too, I think. In that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the teacher. It was the one with the hair that was all around.
Yeah.
Right.
They were all just like, Lane, I was wondering if it was okay if I can ask out Beth.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
it's so funny.
Anyway, but and of
At
course
least
we're
Daniel
watching.
picked the right car. I will give him that. He's very astute in that sense.
I only questioned one of Miyagi's training
Cars.
things.
I said cars.
Is standing in the ocean and letting waves knock you around. How the fuck are you practicing balance with a wave?
Sucked up.
Here's the thing. It's my contention.
You got the jaws.
that
Yeah, sure.
that's another way that Mr. Miyagi is playing a joke on Daniel LaRusso.
You go walk
He's like,
into ocean.
You go walk in the ocean, stand against wave. Dumb. Look at dumb Italian boy get knocked over by wave.
That's what it comes off being. I mean, I just don't see any point of him going up against a wave for balance. I get the boat because the
The boat
balance.
makes sense because it needs balance. It would have been better if it had been a canoe, but okay, a rowboat will do.
And the crane technique and practicing that's
That's pretty
balance,
cool.
even though
Yeah.
it's a worthless move actually in real karate.
Stupid
Well, yeah, it's not a
move
real
at
thing.
the end. Yes.
It's only been used once that I know of in real life, and it was in an MMA fight.
Yeah.
And
They
he
even
didn't
called it
do
crane.
he didn't do the whole the thing with
He didn't raise his
with
arms up in
hands.
the air or anything like
Right.
that. Yeah.
But he did it, and he knocked the guy straight the fuck out.
Yeah, it
And
worked.
completely knocked the guy out. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I dig that. But yeah, the whole thing with running into the ocean. You go run an ocean.
How about the beer bottles?
That was a pretty baller move.
That's kind of badass right there. Yeah.
Stupid random people just walking up to his truck, drinking and putting beer bottles in the truck.
Right. Who the hell would?
Seriously, yeah.
Pat Morita should have beat the shit out of them
Exactly.
too. Shouldn't have just knocked their beer bottles off. He should have
And now
knocked
there's
the beer
glass
bottles
all
off
over
and
by
then
the
stabbed
tires.
them.
So,
How'd you do that?
Stabbed him with.
Don't know. First time.
Yeah. Until we see him in part 2, do it to a whole thing of ice.
Well,
ice
that's
blocks.
Daniel. He doesn't do it. That's Daniel that does it with the ice.
Yeah,
He does break a log into two.
yeah. That's
Or
what
a
she
tree.
said.
A tree into two.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Make like a tree and run.
Let's make like a tree. Get out of here. That makes me laugh.
every
But,
time.
Yeah, every time it does. And you're exactly right about Allie and Daniel. It's just like, what the hell is she doing? What is she doing with him? I mean, he's an idiot.
The only thing I could think of is Johnny was abusive. And Daniel,
That
even though
makes
Daniel's
sense.
fucked up a little bit, Daniel's not physically abusive.
Because she can take them.
Well, she could beat his ass.
Yeah,
I mean,
can.
she already knocked down Johnny with one punch.
Yeah.
So, but that's the only thing I could think of is, he treats her nice. I mean, does he fuck up from time to time? Yeah, but he's got some good reasons. Every time he tries to see her, people want to beat the shit out of him. Her girlfriends don't like him. His parents don't like him.
No, the
What the
parents
hell
hate
is-
him.
because he's from Reseda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They treat Reseda like he's from
Compton
Compton,
or something, yeah.
like he's from the LBC. He's
I'm
from
from
Long
the Valley, yes.
Beach, right? All of a sudden, Daniel's a Crip.
Yeah.
Her blood. Daniel LaRusso's Crip walking with Snoop Dogg.
All right, my friend, let's stick the landing. What you got for us?
Daniel surprises the competitors at the tournament by reaching the semifinals. Johnny advances to the finals. Shocking. Kreese instructs his second best student, Bobby, one of his more compassionate students, to disable Daniel with an illegal attack to the knee. One of his
But that's
more
Nico- that's also the same
compassionate
kid that-
students? Okay.
That's it says get him a body bag.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It
It's
is
a different guy. No,
Okay.
no, he's like, I can take him. He's like,
He beats that guy earlier in the match.
Oh, okay.
He
So
actually beats every single one of them.
Yeah.
he reluctantly does so momentarily because crippling Daniel, because he apologizes too. He's like, I'm sorry, Daniel, I'm sorry. Getting him disqualified. Daniel is taken to the locker room where the physician determines that he cannot continue and will never walk again. However, Daniel believes that if he quits, his
Does it
tormentor...
really say that
No,
he'll
it does
never
not.
walk again?
No, I added that in.
Mr. Miyagi has healing powers.
That's right, yes.
Well, he does.
He does. Seriously, he did something here. Daniel believes that if he quits, his tormentors will have gotten the best of him. So he convinces Miyagi to use a pain suppression technique to help him continue. Daniel returns to fight, but he can barely walk. He's like limping out there. So,
Yeah,
seriously,
he's very
as
gimpy.
Johnny is about to be declared the winner. The match is halted when Daniel uses a scissor leg technique to trip Johnny, delivering a blow to the back of the head, boot to the head, and giving Johnny a nosebleed. Kreese directs Johnny to
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
sweep the leg. Sweep Daniel's injured leg, an unethical move. He looks horrified at the order, but reluctantly agrees.
How
As the match
bad do you want to
resumes
win?
and the score is tied 2-2, Johnny seizes Daniel's leg and deals a vicious elbow, doing further damage. Daniel, standing with difficulty, assumes the crane stance, a technique he learned observing Miyagi performing it on the beach. Johnny lunges
You
toward Daniel,
Son of the beach.
son of a beach, who jumps and executes a front kick, boot to the head, to Johnny's face, scoring the winning point and becoming the All-Valley
best around.
the All-Valley Under-18 new champion. Having gained newfound respect for his nemesis, Johnny presents the trophy to Daniel himself. As an enthusiastic crowd carries Daniel while Miyagi looks on proudly.
Where he's like getting his
Yeah.
ass kicked throughout the whole thing, and then
Right.
at the end he somehow gets him pinned.
All these movies are pretty
Yeah.
much the same type of ending, Because Danny LaRusso could barely walk, and the way he was fighting, all those guys should be able to kill him.
Oh yeah.
He just
Actually, this is the one fight. The end fight is the one that I actually kind of believed in some of the things he does, except for the crane technique. Everything actually looks kind of cool. Whereas everything up leading to it looks like, oh, I totally missed that punch, and so you kicked me.
Okay,
Right.
so Miyagi brings him back from the dead with the leg, and he's limping into the circle. And now all of a
Limping
sudden,
that's being generous.
yes, and now all of a sudden he's able to run around. And Johnny, who has no injuries whatsoever, okay, none,
Right.
is
And he gets-
somehow getting his
Gets 2
ass
points
beat.
on him. Yeah, he
Yes,
gets 2 points on him immediately.
Yeah.
Well, it's overconfidence. He's overconfident because he's injured. And actually, Daniel doesn't run around a lot. He actually stays kind of put. So he does maybe takes maybe 2 or 3 steps, but he really doesn't move around a lot until after the 2 points. Then he starts chasing him around and then ties it up. My thing is, okay, he takes that elbow to the leg, which he doesn't earn a point for that. That causes more damage. The move that he decides to go with is a one that you have to stand on one leg, and the other leg that you're going to use that I don't know which
He's
one's the
gotta
one that's
land on it.
injured or which one's the one that's going to hold up your body weight.
Right.
But
Either
that's
way,
the move you're going to use.
either
after
way, right?
he just hurts you even more with that leg.
Right.
Well,
And then
no,
after you perform the move, you landed on both feet.
it's worse than what you think. The one that he has up in the air is the one that's hurt. So to get everything off of that, he has to land single-legged on his leg that's
what I'm saying.
basically destroyed.
If he fell down after he kicked him, then that's cool. Then that actually kind of
Or
looks
if he'd have heard
badass.
snap, and all of a sudden Daniel starts screaming in pain. Yeah, it's so funny.
using
but
the 9-foot trophy as a crutch to walk around.
It's a replacement. They actually put it on instead of his leg. They got a trophy.
they
on
got
it.
the trophy's his leg. They have to
Strapped to
amputate
him.
on site.
I can't stand this montage up to this point, though. The montage of the tournament
It's pretty weak.
It's pretty bad.
very weak. I don't want to see all these these quick 5-10 second. I want them to see each match against each of the Cobra Kai guys.
They're definitely not the best.
They show the Cobra
Around?
Kai guy winning a point. Daniel then wins a point, and then Daniel wins the whole thing. So it's like, wait a second, what happened to the other 2 points?
All of a sudden, Cobra Kai's not the best in the valley because they keep getting their ass kicked one after
Daniel.
another. It's
yeah,
pretty bad.
apparently he beat everyone to get to Johnny, right? I mean,
It turns into a video game. It turns into a real life video game. He's got to beat all
it's
of
like
the
Mike
underlings
Tyson's
to
knockout, right? They all got the stupid
It's
little
Mike-
names.
Yeah, Punch Out.
yeah.
It's Punch Out.
Well, you also beat the Revenge of the Nerd guy too. So I mean, he was
Right.
in-
Well, yeah.
He beat Lamar and Bobby Brown.
Lamar.
And,
Thought he beat Bobby Brown.
yeah.
He's the
I
one
didn't
that
realize
beat Bobby Brown.
until I watched this movie that the guy who played Lamar in Revenge of the Nerds. I mean, I realized in the tournament that he was in the movie. I didn't realize he was actually in the dojo.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah.
So then I realized he was part of Cobra
Cobra
Kai.
Kai.
It's like, where were all your other parts, dude? I mean,
Where are the rest of the nerds? What do you?
He did
Yeah,
Nerds.
right.
Well, wait, Nerds is right around this time period.
it is
It would have
exact
been
same
just-
year.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
In fact, they're probably released months from each other.
Yeah.
They go up against each other, possibly.
Two completely different roles.
No, right?
Get your ass kicked by a real nerd.
You gotta love John Cristo, man. When he
awesome.
I guess when they were rehearsing, John Kreese had one way. The actor had one way of
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
the line, sweep the leg, and it wasn't as cold as it was when they actually did
Right.
the take.
Yeah.
and
I
everybody
guess
was
it
taken
was.
back from it.
I guess he did it like real calm
Mhm.
and everything, and then all of a sudden he went into John Kreese
John
mode,
Kreese mode.
and
John
is
Kreese
like
mode.
basically he turns into the voice in Mortal Kombat. Finish him. I mean, it's basically what he says.
He's the first one to do the finish.
Finish him. I mean, it is pretty shitty that John asks the one kid who actually has kind of a heart to disable to Daniel LaRusso.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, come on now. I mean,
He
you
must
really
have seen
don't
something
think
he did not like and thought his guy wasn't going to win.
Well, that's the whole crux of Cobra Kai. That's why Johnny in the Netflix show is so mad at John Kreese that he didn't believe in him. And a lot of that Cobra Kai stuff too is because to get into the part, William Zabka created a backstory for Johnny, and that John Kreese was like his dad. He didn't have a dad.
Well, he had a
stepdad.
stepdad.
He had. Well, we find that out later. Yeah,
Who had money?
in Cobra Kai. Yeah, it's a dirty pool. I mean, we already know John Kreese is a bad guy.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. He
Daniel
probably
LaRusso
killed his
could've-
own men in Vietnam, like Niedermeyer.
Actually, not.
Well,
in fact, that's why you should watch
did
the
you
Cobra
get-
Kai show.
Did you get that far in Cobra Kai?
I did
We
not.
find out why John Kreese is the way he is. Hey, that is actually one of the best parts of Cobra Kai.
No, the one part I don't see.
Right. It's
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it's in
the actor
season 2 or 3.
The actor requested that his character be written or he wouldn't come back.
Oh,
Right.
He didn't want to be a straight bad guy. He wanted to have the reason behind the madness type thing.
Right. And I actually that's actually my favorite part of that entire series. Yeah, I agree with Ken. I don't dig the whole lead up to the whole thing, and I really don't like the fact that Allie has to be Mr. Miyagi's interpreter.
I think that's funny.
Stupid. You get your blonde ass back up into the stands where you belong.
nice.
I like it after he says all that stuff and he says,
Thank you.
"You're welcome."
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bray, you're welcome. Yeah. It's cheese. I mean, it's what it is. And
Well, here's the thing. So on the second point that Daniel wins in the final is an advanced move that Miyagi would not have taught him to do.
yeah, I know.
It's like, where the
Yeah.
hell did that come from?
Yeah, no shit, right?
Miyagi's not teaching you how to sweep the leg and then hit the guy in the back of the head and make his nose bleed.
Right,
That's
right.
not something that he would teach. It's
Right.
not up to this point. So yeah, that move didn't make it look cool. It was probably the best move.
That's not
Of the
Miyagi
whole-
Dojo training.
Let's see, that's Miyagi Dojo. But it doesn't fit here, but it looks good. It looks good.
Right.
But like I
Right.
said, the last match I have no problem with. It's just everything up to that because all the other characters, I wanted to see them lose and be humiliated. And they don't do that. It
Get him a body bag.
almost like they want to just bypass all that stuff.
Yeah,
Here's guys that contributed to kicking his ass throughout the whole movie.
right.
And we're left with these just 1 point type of show that, he earned a point in the match and then we get to see that he won. And then there's like this look on their face. Like,
and what
huh?
about a 3-point tournament?
That's standard.
I think that's
Is
standard.
it standard? 3
Yeah, I think
points?
standard.
Wow.
It's the first to 3.
It's
Like, oh,
stupid
no.
if you get to number 3. Number 3,
Yeah,
the bad guy gets a point, then gets a point taken away, and then earns a point.
Yeah.
Then he does something like a point. It's so stupid. Don't even bother with 3.
Number 3 is actually Pooh and P. So
The only reason
I
to
mean-
watch 3 is to watch Cobra Kai. That's the only reason to watch 3.
yeah,
it leads into Kai.
John Kreese is bad. The guy from 3 is actually
Just as bad.
psychotic and menacing. And he's just a complete and utter
Does he have like the
asshole.
long ponytail?
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks like
Yes.
Seagal, kind of.
Yeah.
No, he does not look like Seagal. Seagal wishes he looked like that
Yeah.
guy. Seagal's fat and stupid.
Now,
And
He looks like the
Well,
guy from
he was
My Fat
stupid
Greek
back
Wedding.
a little bit. He also
I
kind of
forget the
looks
actor's
like
name.
Top Dollar, the guy who played Top Dollar in The Crow.
dollar.
Which
I don't
Justin and by the way, Justin and I are right. He's a good actor. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Thank you,
whatever.
Justin.
So, Justin
The guy
likes the Chili Peppers.
It's not Anthony Kiedis.
Okay.
For the last time. And because, of course, Allie has to make up with him. And Allie should have jumped into the karate tournament and kicked everybody's ass.
Should have jumped in the pool with all those other guys earlier in the film.
Well, she should have done.
Hey
Have
guys, you want to
to.
go back on the slide?
I hate the fact that it just ends.
Just ends suddenly. Yep.
I really hate
Here's
the
your
fact
trophy,
that it just
Johnny.
ends.
Miyagi's picture.
Yeah, and the fact that it just stills on him, Daniel holding the trophy. I actually wish the beginning of 2 would have been the
The end of 1.
end of 1. where we find that
Like the Rocky
John
movies,
Kreese-
kind of like a little bit
John
of a montage.
John Kreese breaks the second place trophy and goes after Mr. Miyagi.
Punches his hand through the window of
Yeah,
the car. Yeah.
that should have been the end of the original, the Karate Kid, not the beginning of part 2. That's my only real big beef with the entire movie.
I don't know. I kind of think it falls on the right hands at the end. I mean, do I want a little bit more? Sure, but I think ending it right there with the proud look on Miyagi's face is fine. Because first of all, Miyagi is not all about the tournament. He didn't care about the winning or the losing. He just wanted to do what was right by Daniel-san, and that's what happens here. And I think that's why he has this proud moment, because Daniel has overcome so much to get to where he's at.
He would have been proud of him when he was injured in the medical tent. Yeah.
He was already proud of him in there. Yes.
Medical tent. He was in the locker room.
He's in the locker room, yeah.
That would be a medical tent.
He wasn't playing NFL football.
Concussion protocol.
All right.
Well, that Johnny's probably got concussion after getting that kick to the head. So.
Yeah.
But I do like that Johnny does give him the trophy.
I don't.
You're
I
all
hate
right.
that.
You're all right, Daniel.
You're all right, Daniel. That's so stupid.
The reason why it's okay is because he questions Kreese's orders to begin with.
And that's why the beginning of 2 should have been the end of 1, and then we saw turn on Kreese in the parking lot of the beginning of 2. Then it makes sense. But just having him do it just as if this movie stood alone, it's like, dude, you hated this little shithead from the moment go, and now all of a sudden you're cool with him. Come on.
Well, I think everything that was leading up was respect. That was what Miyagi was teaching about, was win or lose, you earn respect. And I think that's what they showed at the end of the movie, was that Daniel earned the respect, even though technically the one that should be earning the respect, the one that had to learn how to respect a person to begin with, would have been Johnny. Johnny didn't understand that because, like we just talked about, he had a father figure who was cruel. Yeah.
Right.
But I think it ends fine. So, but I think we can go to our final reviews now.
Let's kick it off with Ted, because he's so energetic about this.
Or I could do
the moment of reviews. You're giving it.
I was going to say, we could do. It's the final reviews. Okay.
But not this movie.
Anyway, I like this movie. It's so fun. I don't care what anybody has to say. It reminds me of my childhood. Are there some things that are so bad they're funny?
And
yes.
I think we've brought those up.
We have. And
we've had some fun at the liberty of this movie.
Yeah. I mean, is the music bad? Except for the best around. I mean, okay, come on. That's awesome.
Yeah, come on.
So, yeah, and who didn't have a crush on Ali Sheedy? I
love Ali Sheedy.
Jesus. On Elizabeth Shue. Different movie if it's Ali Sheedy.
Is it?
All of a sudden, it's
is
a
it really a
movie.
different movie?
Yeah, it is.
I love Ali Sheedy, so I might have preferred Ali Sheedy.
It's a hugely different movie. One's blonde and one's brunette.
No, that can be changed.
It's massively different. I mean, is it schlock? Yeah. But it's fun. And I don't care what anybody says. It's a lot of fun. This movie's a 4.5 for me. I watch it every now and then. I turn it on. I like it. Scoff if you want. I mean, are there better 80s movies that do it better? Yeah. But do any of them do it nearly as fun as this one? Probably not. Get yourself a couple of friends, watch this movie, laugh your ass off at all the shit that we talked about, and don't tell me that you didn't have a good time. That's all I gotta say. It's 4.5 for me.
Okay. Well, for me, this movie is kind of like just a walk back in time to my childhood, and I really enjoyed watching it again. I actually enjoy making fun of it because it is very, very easy to make fun of, but overall, it's a fun watch. It's pretty much cliche from start to end. You know what you're getting with this movie. It fits that 80s cliche model just to a T. It's a fun watch. It's not 4.5 stars, but it's right around the 4 category. But I'm going to go 3.75. It's not quite 4 material, but it's pretty close. How about you, Ken?
Yeah, there's things that I like about this movie. I mean, it's the fish out of water guy against all odds. It's Rocky, but in karate form. I mean, I like it, but there are things that I struggle with. The tournament disappoints me. The relationship is really, I just don't really buy it as much as I want to buy it. I like Elizabeth Shue, but these two actors really, I don't think they mesh that great. But what holds this movie up is the relationship between Daniel and Mr. Miyagi. Their relationship is what carries us throughout the whole movie. Daniel doesn't have a father. Mr. Miyagi becomes a father figure / best friend for him. That's what makes this movie work. As far as the final grade, I don't consider this as high as Ted. And I'm roughly around the same area as Eric is, but I'm going to go a tad higher. I will give it 4 hooks because it is one of those feel-good movies. And it's one of those movies that 30, 40 years, it'll still be exactly the same as it is now because ages well. Even though there's no cell phones or electronic devices or anything like that, this movie will stand the test of time. And I think 4 hooks is right where it should be.
All right, so we're all pretty much in the same ballpark. We all enjoyed the movie. It's all a glimpse back to our childhood. What's the next movie we're doing, Ken?
So the next movie we're going to do here is going to be the 25th anniversary of the movie Office Space.
Office
Space.
1999. All right, Michael Bolton.
That's right.
Get out.
I bet you love his whole catalog.
So get out your printer fax machines out and your baseball bats and enjoy the next episode.
I got your flair. I got your flair right here.
That's right. Movies is great. All right, guys. Well, Ted, as always, make like a tree. Get out of here.
Eric, you're the best around.
See you next time on Hooked on Movies.